This is Season 5 of The Score, the Team Roping Journal's podcast, where we cover the roping industry from top to bottom. This is where the team roping world talks. We talk through tough subjects, we talk big wins, and we talk real issues affecting the community. I'm your host and editor of the Team Roping Journal, Chelsea Schaffer. Hey everyone, it's Chelsea Schaffer. Welcome back to The Score. On today's episode, we are going to go back over all of the winners of the Royal Crown in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Holy cow, that roping paid so good, and it was a lot of fun to see all the stallion owners, all the cool horses, just kind of learn their stories. So I'm going to share that with you all today. I know on the short score, you already heard from Rhen Richard and Cole Davidson, but this episode, we're going to have Tate Kirchenschlager, who won the 4-year-old heading, Rhen Richard again, because he won the 4 and under heeling. Rhen Richard one more time, because he won the 6 and under heading, as well as Britt Williams, who won the 8 and under heading, Andy Holcomb, who won the 8 and under heeling, and of course, JD Yates, who won the 6 and under heeling. Rock Springs is one of my favorite places to go. I know, if you're from Rock Springs, you might roll your eyes and not believe me. But that complex is really fun to have an event. Especially, I brought my daughter. She got to run around on her hoverboard, have a great time. And shout out to the Royal Crown crew, because the Pee-wee race that they put on is second to none. They Calcutted the Pee-wees, put all the money in the pot, and split it up between them. So my kid who trotted the pattern got $270 that she would like to buy quite a few Barbies with. So thank you all to the Royal Crown crew for an amazing event. I hope you all, if you haven't been there, I hope you join us at the Royal Crown next year. And, you know, this futurity journey that we have been on these last few years has been an absolute blast. If you are confused about what's happening in the rope horse futurity game, I have yet another explainer, particularly in how everyday ropers can get involved in the futurity game. It's coming out in the September issue. That'll be the issue. It's got Junior Noguera on the cover. You have not seen it yet. It hasn't come across, it hasn't come through your mailbox, but once it does, next couple weeks, look for it, because it will continue to explain the futurity process to everybody out there, all 44,000 people who get this magazine, and hopefully there's plenty more team ropers out there in the world. So share it with your friends. Make sure they know that if they are riding a young horse, even if they are a lower number guy or girl, there is lots of opportunity in the futurity game. So enjoy this interview, these many interviews with the Royal Crown winners, and thanks for hanging out with us throughout this whole futurity season. We've got a couple more big ones left. And I'm going to tell you more about our episode sponsors, Synergy and Weaver Leather, at our commercial break. So stick around.
First, Chelsea's going to talk to Tate Kirchenschlager, who won the Royal Crown 4 and under heading on a 2018 stallion, Murata's First Diver, owned by Brent Bartlett, for an average score of 485.85 points, earning the owner $9,300, the stallion $1,800, and the breeder $1,800.
Was that fun?
Yes.
Was it stressful?
Yeah, a little bit, but it was fun. Lots of fun.
Okay, tell me the story on that horse. Where'd he come from?
The Flag Ranch raised him, I'm pretty sure. Cole Davison had a customer buy him, and then, long story short, Whitney's sister and their family bought the horse, and Cole heels on it and heads on it. I head on it. It's just kind of a family horse. Whitney's sister's kids ride it. It's a good little horse.
How did you and Cole end up getting so close? He's helped you for a long time. You guys obviously were rodeo partners. Tell me the story between you two.
I don't really know. We've always known each other, decent friends. And then even before we roped together, like, I guess like in 2019, we got real close from rodeo, and we weren't roping together, but he helped me a lot. And then we roped together in 21, I guess. And I don't know. We just got pretty close. But the Davisons, they've done a lot for me and my wife with us buying a place and being out there. They've helped us a bunch.
And you're on the Purina feed program probably.
Yes,
Do you talk to Cole's mom much about it?
Like when they come up and stuff a little bit, but yeah, she might be the smartest lady in the world about feed. Yeah, she's pretty good. Yeah, but the whole Davison family, they've been real good for us, really good.
Talk me through that roping. What kind of steers did you draw? Were you really happy with the whole roping, or?
Yeah, on that horse, it was good. That horse reads the cow real good, and I think every steer we run kind of one step left, which is really good for that horse because he reads them good, and he scores really good. So yeah, he's just a real easy horse. Like, he might not have some flash that some other horses have, but he just lets you go rope. And he'll let you win when you want to win. He ain't gonna get you in your way, so that's nice.
And you made a decision this year to kind of dial back on the rodeoing, amp up the training, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, like right there, like the 1st of May. I decided I didn't have good enough horses, and we were building our place, and all my money was going to that, so I decided to stay home. I miss rodeo, and I do. You do? Yeah, I miss it. I'd like to do it again someday, but right now I like this. I like the training, and I want to get my place built and stuff, so yeah, this is nice.
What still needs done at your place?
Need to add on to my barn. I want to build another shed row. Need to put some traps in the pasture, some sheds in the traps, so just more money to spend. Yeah.
So how about the Royal Crowns? How have they been for you this year? I remember running into you at Buckeye, and you were so frustrated. But I guess overall, as the futurity deal goes, how's this year been?
The Royal Crowns, honestly, knock on wood, have been decent to me. Not just like, oh my gosh, killing them, but enough to keep us going. So it's been okay. Waco was decent. Here was decent. They've been good. Mm-hmm. So I can't complain. They've been more than fair.
And we've talked a good bit about Cole, but he's pretty good help with these futurities too, huh?
Oh, he's great help. The time actually plays more of a factor than I think people think it does. Mm-hmm. And he naturally likes to rope fast, which is good. I don't care if he throws on the first hop and misses or catches, but it helps. I can go a little bit farther, and yeah, he gets us a few extra points every run just by how fast he throws. So I do like it.
And those steers that step left a little bit, do they help you really show that horse a little bit better too? Like show how he reads the cow?
Yeah, a little bit. Like that horse is just a real easy horse. So like when the steer steps over there and that horse moves over, it does show that he reads the cow and stays in his lane. But what really helps is when you dally and his move looks real easy and simple when he has when the steer's coming to him instead of straight. He don't have to get on his butt quite as much. It just makes him look smoother.
Very good, sir. Well, do you have a lot more to show this week?
Yeah, we have 5 tomorrow on the 5 and 6 year olds, and then we got 3 7 and 8 year olds. So we'll be busy.
Do you have a favorite division?
I like them all. I do. I like them all. The 4 year olds are real humbling.
Yeah.
You'll really think you got them going your way, and then when you get somewhere, they'll make you look stupid. But I don't know. I like all the divisions. Mm-hmm. They're fun. So no favorite.
Well, thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, Chelsea's going to talk to Rhen Richard, who won the Royal Crown 4 and Under Healing on a 2018 stallion CR Woody Bia Duel owned by A&C Racing and Roping for an average score of 488.12 points, earning the owner $8,700, the stallion $1,392, and the breeder $1,392.
Okay, we said we would talk again this week. We did. So, okay, give me the rundown on that horse to start off with and how he did in this roping.
So, I hadn't been home, obviously, all summer, but that horse naturally has probably more ability than maybe any horse I've ever rode. He's real smooth, for a hill horse anyways. He's real smooth and powerful, but you don't feel it. You know what I mean? He just kind of glides. Mm-hmm. And like we talked about him kind of not finding the ground great, but I don't think there was many horses here that just freaking slide in this ground. It's got quite a bit of clay in it, and I was happy with him. Like in the short round right there, I felt him gather and everything before. Like that's what I want out of one, is to, not short you out, but be collected and ready to stop. And the last one, finally, I got in a good enough spot going down the arena to where he was set up to do good.
So somebody asked me when we were, maybe during the last roping, I'm not sure. Sometime today, somebody said, who rides your horses while you're gone? Are they kicked out? What happens to them?
So I've got a couple guys there, but my horses really haven't been touched all summer. Besides the 4-year-olds, everything's far enough along. I don't really care for anybody else to ride them. But I've got my little brother there that helps, and then we've got a kid that's kind of starting everything, and he's actually, I think he's rode that stud for a week now. But, I hadn't healed 5 steers on that horse since Waco. I kind of stung him a little bit at Waco, and he was a tick sore. And so when I got home, we had a month or so before we left to go, but I didn't ride him. I just gave him time off. So that horse probably hasn't healed 200 steers. So I'm pretty dang happy with him.
How do you help him for a greener horse? Is there anything that you different, or are you just kind of throwing him to the wolves, or?
That horse is pretty mature mentally. So as far as protecting him, I don't. When I'm home, I make sure that horse stays up around him and carries me through the turn. I don't want him as a 4-year-old telling me when to throw. Really, I'm just trying to build a strong fundamentals in him right now. And, I feel like we haven't made any shortcuts in his training, and I felt like it showed today. He's greener than probably what he showed, but he's listening, and I can help him through it, and that's kind of what I'm after when they're 4-year-olds.
Did you said 200 steers total probably. How much do you do on the dummy with him? Anything?
I do a lot on the dummy, especially before I go to the steers. That horse has roped the dummy a lot. And I feel like unless you have really slow steers, it's hard to get just a true feel. So all my hill horses, I put a lot of time in the dummy to where they're confident knowing their job before I go to the steers. And then it seems like, you go to a futurity like this where the steers are strong and you're asking them young horses for a lot, you can go back and just touch on the fundamentals and them horses come back to you. But if you skip those steps, it's obviously...
Yeah. You have won on a ton of different horses this year. Do you have a favorite in this crop? Is there something that you think man, that's a special horse?
I feel like my set of horses right now I'm pretty blessed to have the horses I have. Honestly, I'm just lucky. The head horses, I probably have a couple favorites, but the hill horses, I showed a little mare today that had never been anywhere, but I love the mare. She feels like she could be special. Same with this stud. He does things that horses can't do, and he gives you those high hopes hey, this horse could be a real one, not just a show horse and then sell him. Our goal with this horse is to keep him as a stud and try to recreate him and cross him on some of the running mares for head horses. He's confirmation wise what we want in a horse, and we're super excited about him.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Don't tell me if it's a dumb question, but if you want him to be a real one, you obviously have healed well enough this year that it's not held you back. The fact that you have been focusing on your heading hasn't held you back. Say his 6-year-old year and he could win in Fort Worth. Would you show him yourself, or would you put somebody else on him?
Well, I think there's a lot of factors. I think it depends on what kind of head horse my brother has and how much I've been healing, because I feel like when I'm sharp and we have a run together, I feel like I can show one as good as anybody, not being arrogant, but...
Yeah, for sure.
It's just timing-wise, to stick somebody else on a horse like that, he's a filly. That horse isn't just your old, run 10,000 steers, get on and go hill. He's feeling every little thing. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I've made the comment to Bueller and to Joseph and, even my buddy Cole, somebody that can freaking heal needs to ride this horse, because he is that horse. So I guess that'll be a decision when the time comes.
Okay, and what bridle does one show a 4-year-old stud in? That 4-year-old stud. What
So I actually used 2 bits today. I'm not a chain port guy. But if I was to fault that horse a little bit, he's a little straight. And so I started out with that, and like I knew he wasn't going to like it, but I knew if I rode it on him a couple runs and then switched to a more of a solid mouthpiece, he was going to be round. I rode a miler on him at the end, and like as soon as I put it on him, it felt great. But it's like that other bit kind of softened him up. But I use about 3 or 4 different bits. I use a miler a lot. I just got a JB Guillory that I love. Really, I use a couple different milers, and they're not a ton of bit, but I feel like if you're using the right part of your horse, you don't need a ton of bits. So.
Okay, well, what horses? Do you have a lot more horses to show? We have a day and a half left of this still.
Yeah, so I'm going to show 2 6-year-olds right here in this 8 and under, just because I don't think there's a ton of entries.
Yeah,
and I feel like these horses work. They can compete against any age. And then tomorrow's another big day. I got 3 to head on. Nothing to heel. And I might show that stud tomorrow. If he has a good day, he's going to show. So I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. But
okay. I know we only have... Oh, I guess they did give us a little break, huh? We still have a little bit of time. I will ask you, though, your rodeo season, this season has been like... I feel like I've been writing about team roping and rodeo for longer than I care to talk about, but like you'd think I'd find something else to do, but here we are. But like it has been the Caleb Driggers Junior Guerra show, and then it's been the Clay Tryon and Jade Corkill show, but you and Jeremy have been so good this year. How do you feel about the way you've roped this season, and like what is going on in team roping overall analysis about like, and Andrew and Buddy? It's been like, what a weird, I don't know. I don't remember a season that was ever so dominated by so few teams.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like there's a handful of teams right now that they have like a run. And wherever they're at, they make their run and it wins, and I think there's so many guys nowadays that rope good, but like if you don't have chemistry in a run, Clay Tryon and Jade have roped together a lot. It's not like they just partnered up and started, but like I just feel like guys that kind of stick together and build that chemistry, like it's just it ends up working if you put the time in and you mix the horsemanship part or horsepower part into it. Jeremy and I, we have 4 good horses right now, and I think every team you've just mentioned, like if you go look at how their horsepower is, it's phenomenal. I think those are probably 4 of the best head horses going right now, and it shows.
Very good, sir. Well, thank you. Talk to you in an hour or so.
Choosing a new cinch can be a daunting task. With so many shapes, styles, and features on the market, how do you know which one to choose? The Synergy Airflex cinch has many benefits for horses, from competition to trail riding. Backed by a no-risk 90-day test ride guarantee, you cannot go wrong with trying out the Airflex cinch. Designed with cool flex foam and airflow channels, this is a great fit for horses of all backgrounds and disciplines to keep them cool and comfortable. Learn more about Airflex cinches by visiting rideforthebrand.com/exclusives/Airflex. Next, Chelsea talks with Britt Williams, who won the Royal Crown 8 and under heading on a 2017 gelding, Twist of Style, owned by Britt and Kayla Williams, for an average score of 486.84 points, earning the owners $4,600, the stallion $1,200, and the breeder $1,200.
Okay, Britt, you're from, where in Montana are you from?
Southeastern Montana, Hammond.
And is that where you are still?
Yep, little post office town out in the middle of nowhere.
Very good. So how far of a drive was it for you to come down here?
7.5 hours.
Gotcha. Were you down? You made the short round at Cheyenne too, didn't you?
I did. I missed. I had the
sorry.
loper rolled his head. Thought I threw a good loop, but not good enough.
Not good enough. Gotcha. Were you on either of your futurity horses?
Yeah, I was on the 6-year-old bay.
6-year-old bay. Okay,
Yep.
Gotcha. So tell me about these two, because you were first and third.
Yeah, the bay, they're both home raised. The bay's out of a mare that I rodeoed on for a couple years. My wife and now my daughter's head on her, breakaway on her. She's the best woman's horse I've ever seen, and he reminds me a lot of her. He can be a little bit fragile, but he's got a lot of extras. So if you can hold it all together, you got plenty of horse.
Mm-hmm. And then the horse that you won, the 8 and under on. Tell me about him.
Also out of my dad's black stud.
What's his name?
Twisted Colonel.
Okay.
And we had a long line of horses come out of a horse called Snip of Colonel.
Okay,
so that's the dad of like Jade Corkill's 2-time heel horse of the year that we sold. So our stud's by that Snip of Colonel, and we've carried on the lineage. His mom is a horse that my wife bought in high school out of a sale, and when her and her family went up to Montana for the summer. He's a lot easier to ride, but a lot of horse. He's better on the 15th than he is the first, so it's kind of awkward for a 5-year-old to be able to just keep going and going and going and hold it together. But
so did you ride him in any of the earlier ropings then, or? Yeah,
I rode him both yesterday in the 6 and under open. I was 4th high call on the Sorrel and 5th high call on the Bay, and I was the Crying Hole, the highest score that didn't place, because they only paid 3 yesterday, so yeah. They both worked good yesterday too. I stayed out of their way better today.
Gotcha. Well, tell me about your family's breeding program. Have you been breeding horses? I guess, how is your family's breeding program? How did it get started, and how has it changed since these incentives started to pop up?
So it got started pretty much based off that Snip of Colonel stud that Donnie Nelson, Stuart Robinson owned in northern Montana. Like I said, Cleo had a full brother to Caveman.
He still does, the Bay?
We got him back. All the grandkids ride him. He's 22 years old.
Gotcha. Okay.
No. Yes. So that's where it all got started. We had 40, 50 horses from there. 3 of them were great ones, 46 were good ones, and 1 was bad. I mean, so we just wanted to keep the bloodlines going. We had a few mares when we got started, but as we've kept going, we've had a few that we either rodeoed on or knew somebody to. I think that's where we need to keep going. The mare power, it's got to be proven in some way, shape, or form. And
have they all been, or mostly been proven rope horses then, or are you crossing them on running horses?
Mostly proven rope horses. I've been buying a lot of cow horses the last few years. Our stud seems to have a lot of run and throws pretty good size, so I think it's going to go good on the cow horse thing. I'll probably try to cross him on a few running horses too, but I might end up with a lot of horses. I don't know. But he's very cowy, but he likes to go. And it seems to be going into these colts pretty good. So I don't know where we're headed, but I hope it's good. It's a 5-year process for you even know what you got. So.
For sure. Yeah. Were you planning on doing the futurity thing before these incentives rolled around, or did that kind of amplify that for you?
Yeah, I went to Fort Worth 3 years ago. I had a 6-year-old. I was winning on at the rodeos up north. I could go 4.7 or 4.8 on him, and I went to Fort Worth, made 3 beautiful 7-flat second runs, and was probably about 100th in scoring. So I got a quick lesson, and I'm nowhere near what some of these guys are as a horse shower. I think I'm a decent horseman, but I got a lot of room to grow in this deal. So
very good. Are you circuit rodeoing then too?
Some. I'm not going to go enough to make circuit finals. I had Caden Cox up from California in the last few weeks, and we were doing good. We caught about 75% of our steers, and one more and we lost, and now the kids are starting school and fair next week, and probably we'll go to Bobby's Futurity in end of August, and get ready for Fort Worth and see what happens next year.
Very good. Well, thank you.
You bet.
Congratulations.
Next, Chelsea talks with Andy Holcomb, who won the Royal Crown 8 and Under Heeling on a 2015 gelding, Walkin' the Dog, owned by Liz Herds, for an average score of 491.67 points, earning the owner $4,500, the stallion $675, and the breeder $675.
Okay, Andy, Walkin' the Dog. What has that horse meant to your career? I feel like he's been just huge the last couple of years.
Yeah, huge. I mean, he's been everything to my career I think on a lot of different levels too, because Liz is a really good friend, family friend that's been around for a long time too. So to have her own the horse and she's like family to us, so that's kind of special too. And it's something that she rides all the time.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. She was just breaking in on it at Salinas Rodeo last week. So, yeah, definitely a pretty special horse.
And he likes Rock Springs, right? He did really good here last year.
Yeah, he did. He did really good here last year. Yeah, the head did good in the head, and I don't believe we healed on him here last year. He likes.
Did you win the open heading on him last year?
Yeah. The stallion wasn't bought in last year. Warbird Dog wasn't bought in last year, so we just entered the open and did good in that. So, yeah.
What do you know about Warbird Dog?
I like this baby out of him. I've ridden a few of them now, and I've really liked them all. They're all, not huge horses, but really fast-footed and really talented horses.
So, how do you feel about it?
Oh, I feel like it was a really good event. Everything went smooth. You know, the first couple days were kind of long with the. I think the first night the breakaway got done at 11:30 or 11 or so, and then last night I think we got done at like 10 or so. So there's some long days for sure. But ended good, and everything went smooth, and I think everybody was happy that I talked to.
How did you and Driggers end up kind of I don't know if you're partners or just helping one another? How did this relationship build?
I asked him, actually my wife asked him last year before Texas if he was going and if he would help me. And
he said no?
And he said yes.
You said yes, I'm just kidding.
And so, and then I just kind of got talking to him there, and then I kind of just started doing some business together and kind of got going after that.
Very good. So how many are you taking to Fort Worth?
Probably 5 and 5. And then I'll see, I might have a couple of them, I might just kind of mount out or something.
How many outside horses do you keep at any given time?
Usually through the summer, like 40 about. And then I kind of slow down and back it off in the winter, throughout the winter. So,
were you circuit rodeoing any this year?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's going good this year. We went terrible last year, but this year it's going pretty good. I don't know where we're sitting right now. Last I checked, we were second. I think we won 8 or 9 or 1,000 or something like that. So it's going good this year.
Yeah, heck yeah. As far as this building goes, the steers are strong. What was your strategy on the heel horses as far as how you rode them through this building?
They took the healers barrier away this year. They said they kind of wanted the healers to really be up there with the steer. They didn't want any excuses to be hanging back. And so it was kind of really just get them set up good in the box where I could get a good start with the steer and be right there with them. And even if they come left, just to stay hooked with them and then just set it up from there. Yeah.
Very good. Well, we will see. Can Walkin'? Oh yeah, he's 6, right? Or no, he's 7.
Yeah,
so he's not going to be.
No,
he's done. This was his last one.
Yeah. Well, which I guess that was 8 and under. So technically, he could come back next year.
Yeah.
He could come back next year. So
is he going to be? Is he heading into just breakaway horse territory with Liz?
Really, all this year, that's all he's done all year. Except for I think she headed on him at Reno at the all-girl during Reno week, and really actually here in Buckeye I think was the only place we headed on him this year. So yeah, he's pretty much full-time breakaway horse. Liz keeps him pretty good for you though? Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. And I think it helps too on him because he's not a huge horse, and so he stays I think a little more honest and physically better by not heading all the time. So he doesn't take. He's pretty physical, so I think he might kind of hurt himself if he did it all the time.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you.
going to hear from Rhen Richard again after he won the Royal Crown 6 and Under heading on a 2016 gelding, Chicks Magic Corona, owned by A&C Racing and Roping, for an average score of 487.23 points, earning the owner $8,280, the stallion $1,725, and the breeder $1,725.
I don't think I placed on the bay the first round, but I had them right where I wanted them after the second round and the third round. Freaking Bueller, I can't remember if he slipped a leg. Whatever happened, the steer just he stepped left, and I had to come right back up the wall. We got a leg, but the horse was outstanding. They still marked him a 120. And the sorrel, I got a little lackadaisical warming him up, and he kind of leaked through my hand. I broke the barrier. I should have been high call on him by 5 or 6 points. But he come back in the short round and was outstanding.
Short round, you were third call on that horse? What call were you on the?
Third on, we'll call him Pierre.
Pierre, and that's Chicks Magic Corona, yes. Okay, so what were you trying to win it at that point? No?
That horse is like at these deals, you don't have to do anything special. Like he's so fast-footed, and he's got a ton of eye appeal, and we just made a good jackpot run, and he marked really well.
You said that this set of horses has you really spoiled, and we were talking earlier that like you had during COVID, you spent a lot of time riding this particular set of horses. But what do you have coming up? Are there 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds standing around that you're really excited about?
Yeah, so my 5-year-old crew next year will be slim. I'll have these 6-year-olds will be, but as far as 2 and 3-year-olds, yeah. Like 2 years down the road, I should be loaded.
Really?
And we have a kid hired, Trinity Haggard, and he's doing all our break-in and gets them really broke. So I think the horses are going to be further along than what these horses here are actually.
And yeah, what's different though about the program? Just he's putting more time into them, or
he's way better at it than what I am. And we might send them off for 60 days to just kind of get where you could do something with them. But I was mainly doing it all, and I don't know near as much as he does. He's been in a cow horse program a bunch, and we're kind of trying to mesh and find what works for both. But like kids grew up on a ranch, and he's savvy, and like I'm super excited about what the horses are going to be.
How many winners versions do you get a year? 2?
5.
Oh, 5. Okay, so what's the breakdown of your up-and-comers? Are they mostly winners versions? Are they mostly by your other son?
So I think the set of 3-year-olds, there's quite a few winners versions, and a handful, we call him Smoke, Ray Smoke and Dooley. And then the 2-year-old set's probably our best crop. We've got 3 or 4 winners version fillies they're out of like grade 1 stakes placing running mares. Like they're not 2nd, 3rd generation type mares that these colts are out of. So I mean, and like he's got them going right now. He started everything earlier this year, and I mean freaking broke. They go around like cow horses right now. So I think it's going to be good.
Do you find that your running bred horses are a little bit more fractious, or do you?
I haven't really got to train a straight running horse that hasn't been on the track. The way they're training and like the way he's got them broke and everything, like he claims that they're better minded than the cow horses. The thing that makes me nervous about the straight run is I don't think they're strong enough in certain areas, body-wise, conformation-wise, and I think that's half the problem why they do get kind of hot, because they're hurting. But we're trying to breed. We're not really breeding straight run anymore. We're trying to cross either cow bred studs on running mares or vice versa.
Okay. at the finals this year, because you've already got them made, congratulations, do you have anything you feel like could go in the Thomas and Mack right now, or are you going to be riding your older brown horse at the Thomas and Mack?
I'll for sure ride the old brown. He's like stealing in there. As
Yeah.
long as I can, as long as he'll stay sound and strong, like, I'll never ride another horse until
Really?
he's so easy.
That's awesome. Well, go have lunch with your kids. They look like they want Dad's attention. I'm sure they've not gotten much of it in the last 24 hours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Chelsea talks with JD Yates, who won the Royal Crown 6 and Under Healing on a 2017 stallion, probably a shiner, owned by Mike Van Egdom for an average score of 489.86 points, earning the owner $9,750, the stallion $1,935, and the breeder $1,935.
I bought his dad years ago from Dean Tufton and for a client, and then we showed him, and actually I got hurt the year we was going to show him, and Jay Wadham showed his dad and won the world on him at the World Quarter Show in the senior healing.
I remember.
And then Mike Van Egnen had bought him and was started raising some colts, and this is the first colt crop out of him that I got to ride, and he actually looks just like his dad and got a mentality just like his dad, so I feel pretty fortunate.
How, so is he a 5-year-old?
5-year-old.
5-year-old?
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what did he do his 4-year-old year? Did you show him his 4-year-old year?
I showed him, we did really good at the World Show, but I hadn't showed him at many futurities at all. I just maybe I'm a little slower at getting shit going than most people, but I just, I don't hurry them colts much, and actually I, feel pretty fortunate to win what I win healing, but I think he'll be a real good futurity horse and stuff for Trey, because he'll probably really show his talents off. I just got lucky maybe today, caught 4, but Mikey did a good job for me, and he was good for me. He just made it to where I had to do my job.
Yeah, so that horse, is Trey going to show him in Fort Worth then?
If Trey goes to Fort Worth, he'll show him. His circuit finals are that week, and so he don't know for sure if he's going to go to the circuit finals or if he's going to go to the World Show. Or, the rope horse
championships, yeah.
So, so we don't know that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. You had bad luck on your way up here, right?
Oh yeah, I had a little bad luck. Yeah, we just had a little come around a corner and traffic shut down, and so we had to lock it up and throw the horse down, or didn't throw him down, but stepped all over himself. So we had a couple that got crippled. We couldn't show, and but they're going to be fine. And so we're, call it bad luck. I call it good luck. It could have been a lot worse.
Sure. Did you come from the Spicer Grip?
I come from the Spicer Grip and come home and then on up, yeah.
How was the Spicer Grip for you?
It was good. We roped 4 good, and my partner missed the 5th one, but just to go compete with those guys and stuff for me is fun, and then Trey did real good, and so that was good watching, and then drove to I didn't come from the Spicer. I made the short go around at Dodge City, so I went to Dodge City.
With Marcus.
With Marcus.
Yeah, I saw that.
And went there Sunday night, and then I come home Sunday night and then come up here.
Tell me about that buckskin's process as you were making him. Did you do a lot of slow steers? Did you do a lot of dummy work? What kind of work was he?
You know what? He was just pretty adaptable. I think really in the truth of the matter is being a horse trainer is something that you never really figure out. And, when you get a good one, sometimes you just need to stay out of their way and let them train themselves and show them the right path. And, I've been critical or been guilty at times of trying to force action before they're ready to mentally and physically ready to do it. And over the years, I've learned to at least let them try to progress a little bit on their own, but sometimes I still do some stupid shit and make them go before they should. But, I've a lot of good horses. I mean, they pretty much train, they'll as long as you show them the right path, they'll train themselves.
Did he go to a lot of jackpots or anything before this?
Nope. Actually, I've taken him to quite a few horse shows and mainly rope calves and head on him. And, I heel on him at the shows, but...
How big is he?
Oh, he's 15 hands.
Is he? Yeah, so big enough.
Oh, yeah. And so...
You didn't show him in the heading, though?
No. I got a lot of time for that, and, I kind of like to, get him started in the calf roping good, and he's doing pretty good and progressing pretty good, and so I'd like to finish him, making him a pretty decent calf horse before I head too much on him. I'll show him at some shows, and I'll show him at the World Show and all that, but I probably won't head on him at no futurities this year.
Very good. Well, we will see you in Fort Worth.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sticking around listening to today's episode. Remember, it was brought to you by Smarty and Weaver Leather and their Synergy line of tack. If you want to learn more about these products, check out ridethebrand.com.